Welcome to our fourth deck profile. This is Kurai no Shujin taping for Nami no Shujin, and he's got a pretty cool dragon deck with us today. It's the Chaos Dragons Revival. So, Nami, let's see what you got.
We got 3 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons. They are the main headliner of this deck. Basically, it explains for itself. It's capable of bringing other dragons back from the grave and special summoning itself when the field is correct. Following him, we'll run 3 Light Pulsars. Red Eyes Darkness Metal and Light Pulsar, when present on the field, present a softlock. If they get removed by the field by any means of Torrential Tribute, Dark Hole, Light Pulsar by effect would bring Darkness Metal back. And then by Darkness Metal's effect, it would bring Light Pulsar back, hence softlock.
Yeah, pretty mean wall, pretty big beaters. Not something I'm a fan of being up against myself. Who's up next?
Next we'll have 3 Dark Flares, another Chaos Dragon, capable of not only special summoning himself, but with his effect allowing you to ditch a dragon from your hand, search through your deck for a dragon to send to the graveyard, and then banish 1 card from either graveyard. Also, take a quick note that if you're using Eclipse Wyvern in this deck, you cannot send Eclipse Wyvern and then banish him immediately due to rulings.
Yeah, you'll just miss the timing and you'll look pretty foolish for it. But he's good at filling up the graveyard, getting the graveyard gut loaded. Who's next in this deck?
We got 2 Vice Dragons. Situational, pretty much. If you need to set up the field for Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, it'll be what you need to set it up.
Yeah, fleshy cyber dragons, right? What's up?
Next, Interplanetary Purpley Thorny. In case something happens and you still need the field presence, like a torrential or so, a monster gets destroyed, you still would have a monster with Interplanetary Purpley Thorny Dragon.
Fun thing to mention here is when you have the softlock dragons and they run into something like the Mirror Force, you're not only facing that Red Eyes Darkness Metal now he's got a little buddy who's not so little, and in combination with those Vice Dragons, it can get across some side decks that like to use Macrocosmos and sometimes Dimensional Fisher, and it actually lets you get beyond that and get some dragons back on the board to try to just turn it back around with some brute strength. So who's going to follow up after that?
We're going to have 3 Eclipse Wyverns.
You need to stop laying them everywhere.
Well, Eclipse Wyvern, when it's sent to the graveyard by any means necessary, this could be sent from the deck, from your hand, it doesn't matter. As long as it's sent to the grave, it'll get its effect. Standard searcher for any dragons, light or dark, that are 7 or higher.
Alright, so this is what you use to get Dark Armed and basically Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Some decks run Galaxy Photon. AJ doesn't have one yet, so probably later. Usually start doing this. Put them here and then move them off to the side. Alright, what's up next?
Next, we got 2 Whitestone of Legends.
Alright, now this is an interesting choice. And tell everybody why he's in here, because this was really weird and I hadn't seen this in any of the tournaments I've been playing in.
The Whitestone of Legends serves many purposes in this deck, not only like Eclipse Wyvern, no matter how it's sent to the graveyard, it still gets its effect. But the uniqueness is that not many people take advantage of Light Pulsar's second ability. And the second ability is you can send light and dark from your hand to the grave to bring him back from the grave.
Yeah, I saw you get a lot of looks today at the tournament for that, and everybody was taken back by the fact, they were like, does he really do that? Yeah, he did. Plus, when you sent this guy, you were able to add who to your hand?
A classic monster, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, so what he has here is he basically has a monster that he can discard anytime or use to Synchro Step Up and add another big beat stick that just adds another tool to Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's arsenal of already really effective beat sticks. Plus, it's a classic. I mean, I like it. So, any other reason that you run these?
Blue Eyes White Dragon, not only, as you mentioned, is a 3000 beat stick, he can also be discarded for Light Pulsar's second effect, and is a good way to get above anything that just happens to be bigger than Red Eyes Darkness Metal.
Gore's tokens especially, right?
Yeah, and that often troublesome Blackluster soldier.
Yeah, BLS makes a good suicide run for him, considering you can just bring it right back if you need to, or don't. Who cares?
Next, we'll run 3 Lilas.
All right, Light Sworn Sorceress.
Spell Trap Destruction, Light Monster, good 1700 attack, and it's very good for the mill effect, which is very good for the Weaverins and the Whitestone Legends. And as for all Chaos decks, milling is important.
Yeah, that's true. What else we got?
Run 1 Prime Material Dragon. I do consider running 2 or 1, but 1 just seems right for this deck.
Plus, guys, take note. Prime Material Dragon plus Whitestone a Legend equals a free discard for the negation to get another card to your hand. You're not losing anything there. So that's a weird +1 that you're going to be able to get, plus the deck thin. So this guy's pretty much a genius the way he put that in there. But I saw it mess over so many decks today. All right, what else do we have? Is that it for monsters? Or?
Also, quick side note that this also works with the Weaverins.
Oh yeah, that's true, because as long as it goes to the graveyard, so discarding the card definitely does that for you.
Next, we got 2 Axe Dragonoots. Dark type, 4 stars, dragon, 2000 attack. Pretty much, it's there for in case you need the high attack, power, and the additional threat and field presence.
Yeah, just a mini enforcer.
Now for another fun card of this deck, Dark Arm Dragon.
Yep, he's pretty much a workhorse in just about any deck that uses more than 4 dark types. Plus, he's just a big threat. Makes sense that he's a dragon to put him in here, though.
Now we'll go through the traps. Trag. I would consider Trag more of a hand trap. If you take battle damage by any means, you can special summon him and he'll gain 600 attack and defense for every card you have in your hand. Very situational, and not only that, this deck varies very well with its different star levels, so if your opponent does have something bigger than you can just take control of it.
Well, it has to be an exact star level discard, but you do have like everything from 4 to 8. So, yeah, plus it's a lot more fuel for the chaos and more fuel for that Red Eyes Darkness Metal. What other traps do we have?
Next, the traps. We'll go with the usual staple for decks, Mirror Force.
Yeah, no explanation there.
World Decree. This deck plays so few traps that you might as well just stop your opponent from playing his as well.
Alright, anything else?
This trap here, I consider it necessary because of the additional mill. Not only that, you can use it as threat to your opponents, and just in the mill, if you get dark and light in your grave, and if you happen to get a Weaverin or a Whitestone Legend in there, it's just an added bonus.
And for anybody who can't read that, that's actually Needlebug's Nest. And I watched him bluff a bunch of people until they finally used an MST or their Heavy Storm on this. It was just one of those things where he was being a pain in the butt to everybody. Let's clean this off a little more. Let's get to their spells. So, starting off with...
Charge of the Light Brigade. Standard mill for Chaos deck. Mill 3, and you get a
mill
Lila.
tutor for Lila. That's fine. What else?
Reasoning. The monsters again are so varied in this deck that you're almost guaranteed the monster and field presence when you need it.
This can backfire though. I did watch somebody check his graveyard, and they were like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I'm going to go with 10.
Yeah.
It was. It was the only time I saw this backfire though. The deck is so varied with levels. I watched one person almost crap himself when Blue Eyes stepped out. It was amazing. What else do we have?
Next, we'll come up with card destruction, mill cards from your dark and light from your hand. If you happen to have an Eclipse Weaverin or a Whitestone Legend in your hand, it's pretty much a free mill.
Alright, so that's pretty good. What else?
One of the fun spells in this deck, Future Fusion.
Alright, and you had a special strategy with this card, right?
Yes. When you play Future Fusion, you will target 5-headed dragon.
5-headed dragon's right there.
You'll say you have a clean field. The only thing you'll need for this Future Dad strategy is to select 1 light monster and 4 darks. Your light monster, of course, will be the Eclipse Wyvern.
Yeah, you definitely going to want to make sure it's Eclipse Wyvern, because you want to be able to put that Dark Arm Dragon out of play real quick, and then with any of your other Chaos cards, and in his case, his 6 dragons that he uses, but anybody else who has BLS or Chaos Sorcerer as a tech card, you can definitely take advantage when you remove. It instantly gives you Dark Armed and lets you play it and use it. This is his future dad strategy. This messed me up earlier. This was really good. It took everything I had, and believe it or not, I couldn't force. I was able to stall out a couple turns, but when he had Dark Armed and 5 God, it was too much. It was way too much to come back from. What else do we have?
We'll go by the standard staples for decks. Dark Hole.
All right, that's pretty standard.
Yes, if you have the soft lock going, it's nice to see the surprise on the opponent's face when you pop Dark Hole on yourself and they just watch your whole field just snap back together.
All right.
Lightning Vortex.
Also really good. He's got those discard dragons,
The discard
like he
dragons.
keeps talking about.
And
It's almost free for him. Or it sets up another strategy and he just keeps going.
yes, and just in case you need that one extra dark monster for Dark Armed. Heavy Storm and Mystical Space Typhoon. Standard spell trap destruction for all decks.
Yeah, plus because he's using 3 Lilas, he doesn't need to play 3 MSTs because he's got 3 walking MSTs. Plus they do the mill, and this just to let him play more monsters and do all these weird things that he does. What else do we have?
And finally, the standard for every deck, Monster Reborn and Allure Darkness.
Yeah, there's enough darks to justify Allure Darkness. What were the rest of your extra deck monsters? I know that you had a couple more than that.
We got Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth, a Psychic Life Trancer, and Aqua Dragon. Why Aqua Dragon? I am Nami no Shujin.
It translates to the Master of Water. He always played a water deck from the very start of our original team, and this was one of the cards he just carried around because back then he didn't need an extra deck, and he still doesn't have very many cards. So he really doesn't need him with this type of deck, though. He just pounds your face in the whole time. So any other last remarks you want to make on this deck before we go?
The main points of this deck is I've always wanted to be able to not only muscle my way out of any situation, that this deck usually always has something up its sleeve. Whether it's pulling like Pulsar back out of the grave, whether it's bluffing with Needlebug Nest, there's always something. There's a big difference between playing a card and using a card.
Alright, well you heard that here. So hopefully this future dad, it takes off. We see a couple more decks run that, talk about that. This was the Chaos Dragons Revival deck. And this was Team 240p Gold. So if you like this, comment, rate, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff. We're actually going to start something called the Gold Academy Lectures here soon. And we're going to cross that over to iTunes as well so that you get free downloads. And this way you can take us on the go wherever. But for now, that was the deck profile for the week. Just remember to keep having fun. We'll talk to you later.